Peace and blessings. This is the second video, which is the Q&A session from the first video. This video is made in two parts to answer the questions from the first video. Now, I'm not going to answer the questions line by line. I'm going to answer them all within the context of this video. It was unclear to more people than I thought what the objective was in the first video. So let's be clear. The objective of this video is to notify you of a major upcoming event. It's a biblical proportion. This event will allow you the opportunity to ascend into the fourth dimension. Now, I'm going to omit as much as the big words, the prodigious words, and esoteric language as possible so that I can try to communicate with a larger audience. In this non-physical world, simplicity is what is called truth. And it's up to you to find your own truth using your free will. So, with that said, it's my desire, what I've tried to do is to break down 30, 40 years of information into 20 minutes, 30 at best. So I'm not going to be 100% accurate on quotes and those type of things, but the bigger picture to all this is that you have to use your mind to think and to put together some little things. You know, I'm going to show you where the water is, but it's up for you to drink it. You have to be real with yourself in this esoteric stuff. You have to be brutally honest to find your salvation. I just want to see you on that boat with me to hit that 4D mark. The date that you heard in the first video was April 11th for this event to happen. It may be sooner, I don't know. It may be later, I don't know. But you can do it. Everybody listening to this video has the ability to ascend. You just have to focus and get with it. Who can participate? It's open to everyone. Doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Doesn't matter what language you speak or what religion you practice. Spirit doesn't care about any of that. All of you mothers out there that have babies, don't worry. The babies will travel with the mother no matter where the mother decides to go. So, with that said, say hello, Kua. Say hello, big pretty girl. Let's get started. Ready? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Well, it looks like inspiration has struck. This is a piece of plywood I found around the garage a moment ago. And we're going to use this to explain the dimensions. On this, well, for those of you who are familiar with plywood, plywood is bonded together with 9 different plies. Some plywoods are different. But this particular piece that we have here has 9 plies. Where's my pencil? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this plywood is bonded together with some type of super adhesive glue. If this plywood is wet on this one, let's call this one 1, and let's call this side 9. If you wet this plywood on this side, because of all the glue, it does not go through to the other plywoods. it would take a long time and a lot of work for that water or whatever substance that was here on the first dimension to go through to the second, the third, the fourth, etc., all the way to the ninth. Now, this is all one piece. All of these plies, rather dimensions, are all together. They all occupy the same space in time. Now, the first dimension, as I know it, would be occupied by water, by air, dirt, these type of things. The second dimension will be occupied by things that move, like trees, plants, birds, animals. The third dimension here is where we are, humans, intelligent, moving beings. The fourth dimension here is where we're going. In that fourth dimension, as I know it, there will be new bodies, but with the same spirits that came from the third to the fourth. Let's leave it there for now. For the sake of simplicity, let's just say that an ascension occurs once in a blue moon. And this ascension, we're going to call it a black hole, develops in our time-space reality. This black hole allows the inhabitants of one plane of existence to travel through that hole to another plane of existence. So in our case, from 3 here to 4. Let's bring about a little clarity on something. From the first and second dimensions, as to why we can see them in the third, is because all 3 of these dimensions operate at the same frequency. As the dimensions go up, the frequency also goes up. So the reason we can't see the higher dimensions is because the frequency is too high, yet we are all still occupying the same space. So this is important when we talk about the Schumann resonance. Well, as usual, leave it to me. One thing leads to another, so let's get this out of the way. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that little fireball up there, that's called the sun. And what you may not know is that sun puts out data packets of information through its waves into your body. Those data packets will enter your body through your skin, but more so through your soft skin, your soft tissue, like your eyes. When it enters your eyes, it goes through your body into your DNA. And it actually changes your DNA. Now, this started at its strongest in January of 2020. And as you may know, other things happened in January 2020, such as the launch of the coronavirus. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that it happened at this same time. Nonetheless, it takes a while for those data packets that's changing your internal structure through your DNA to show itself on the outside. This is one of those situations where you heal from the inside out. But once it happens, once that's done, then you will have this little thing walking around on Earth what we call superconscious beings. Now I'm getting off track again, but very quickly, in the days of Atlantis, towards the end of days, this is what happened to them. This was part of what brought down their society. Now, here on Earth, there's this monitoring system that we have called the Schumann resonance. You may want to look into that. You will find that it is doubled, tripled. I don't really know where it is right now because I haven't looked at it in a while, but I can tell you that as the Schumann resonance was rising from its fixed position, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was in the 6s or 7s many years ago. As it rises and it hits all these different frequencies, people started hearing things, and they were reporting to the authorities that they're hearing humming coming out of the ground, or a lot of people were having tinnitus in the ears and all these type of things. But I've gone too far. I'm straying off, so let's get back on track. People, I'm showing you these books because we really don't have any time. I don't know 100% certain that this ascension is coming, but I am 99.9% in belief that if it doesn't happen, something seriously major is going to happen. Anyhow, this is one of the books of ancient writings. This book was channeled partly, and it also came from a lot of ancient documents. Thoth, the priest god of Atlantis, was the one who was the spearhead person on this book. Now, in this book, they talk about the precession of the equinox. Hopefully it's, let me make sure it's, can you see it? Okay, let's do it this way. In this book, they talk about the precession of the equinox. I can see it better now. And this is what I was talking about, the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance measures the speed at which we're going around here in the energy. Here's where we are right now, okay? And as you see, this actually, Ascension was supposed to happen around before 2012. But nonetheless, it was postponed. We don't have time to talk about that. Nonetheless, it is on the go now. As I told you about the Schumann resonance before this, it is speeding up and by multiples, okay, exponentially. Have you noticed that it seems like everything is going faster, or days are shorter, and it's just everything is just moving real fast? All that's a part of it. That's why it is speeding up. That's one of your signs that this thing is going to happen, okay? You heard the channeler. I'm showing you some documentation now. If you're lucky, you can find this on the internet. If they haven't removed all copies, I know they were after it. I don't know where I found this 10 years ago, but if not, here, if I'll hold it real still, you can hit pause. Okay. And it goes to the next page here. Am I missing anything before I turn? Don't know. Forgive the long video, but it's important. Okay, let me focus in. Page 60. I'll hold it. Okay, hopefully you guys have enough so that you can pause it and read it for yourself. Big time information. Past, ancient past, before Sumner, Egypt, ancient past, and future, way past us, okay? And it talks about the precession of the equinox, talks about what we're going to go through. Let me go back one page. Right here it says, and you'll probably read it, when great changes take place. Now, for us, this is the first time you're hearing about this, but I've heard about other civilizations in the past. That's why I was expecting many years ago basically a cataclysm, some type of cataclysmic event to happen, but it didn't. And that's when I realized there was benevolent intervention. Okay, let's cut the time here. There's over 600 pages here. They talk about AIDS. They talk about flying vehicles. Just everything you can imagine.
holy symbols, spiritual symbols, other planets. It's just incredible. Merkabah's, anything you can imagine is in this book. And it's all knowledge that you have not been told, and you've probably never heard of most of it. Okay, let's move on now.
Hey everybody, welcome to my closet. I came in here because it's quiet, it's late. My customers' orders are over a week late. I'm just trying to get this hustle on a little sleep for the love of you, all of my brothers and sisters out there. So I've got to talk about a couple things. There's still kind of a lot, and I'm trying to condense it. I think this is real important, so I don't think I'm going to make the 20-minute mark or the 30-minute mark. You're going to have to stop this video several times and go back and listen to stuff, okay? I love all of you, but I've gotten praises to flat out hatred. It doesn't matter, okay? I've had a lot more challenging things in my life. I just love that at least you're looking at it, okay? When this is over, when this video is over, I want you all to give everybody else the chance that I gave you. I'm putting my name on the line. I'm taking all the heat off of everyone else by saying things that no one else is gonna say. So let's take it from there. Let's knock out a couple things so we can move on to the good stuff. Let's see. The first one is consent, okay? The universe doesn't take to joking kindly. In fact, it does not accept jokes, okay? When something is thrown at you that you did not expect, you must address that, or it will come back again with ferocious force. Each time it multiplies when it comes back. You've all experienced this, okay? If you are sitting there doing nothing in your house, thinking that you're safe, you don't even want to hear this stuff. Listen, it's gonna come back. You cannot avoid it. As a spiritual being here on Mother Gaia, whether you know it or not, we chose to come here, okay? And by that choosing, we agreed to certain things. We all have to learn our lessons. If we do not, we are going to experience it, this environment, life after life after life, experience after experience after experience. And how bored would you be with the same experience? Okay? So, think about that. Think about our experience here or anywhere else, as a matter of fact. As a college, as a university, for all of you who read the description in the first video, you already heard this. Think of it as a college. You now know the game. There is no excuse. You know the game. When you step out in the morning, you know the game. Anything that you have drawn to yourself, you know the game, okay? We'll go over that a little later, law of attraction, but just very little. If you looked in the comments of the first video, I think I put it in there. You already should be on that trail. Okay, let's move on. I think I said enough. Let's get to it. Bye. Okay, everybody. I've had something on my mind for a long time, and I think I found a solution. I want you to meet a few friends of mine. This is a white guy, this is a red guy, and this is a black guy. For years, they just weren't getting along. They just couldn't understand the one simple thing every time I told them, hey, you're all the same, quit it. But they just didn't get it. So hopefully this illustration will help you all if you encounter the same type of situation. Meet the white guy. Hello, white guy. Let's meet the red guy. Hello, red guy. I see you already met the white guy. Wow, you guys get along well. Got a new friend for you.
the black guy. Look at that harmony. People, that's the spirit. That's who you are. You're a spiritual, non-physical being having a human experience. You, my friend, when you look in the mirror and you look beyond that body, that container that you're in, you are eternal. You're the immortal they talk about. You are the everlasting in the Bible. It is you. Wake up, people. Okay? Think about this. This is going to help you ascend and help everybody you know. Peace. Okay, people, I want to introduce you to two world-renowned psychics. One, Mr. Edgar Casey, and two, Miss Dolores Cannon. They are both now in the spiritual realm, so send them a shout-out in your prayers. I bring these two people up because they were the best in their field for their times. And, they were well accepted. They weren't demonized like the psychics of old. So with that said, I'm going to introduce you to another channeler, a Miss Tina Spaulding. And what she does when she channels is she allows her consciousness to be set aside so that the being, the higher dimensional being that she is channeling can come in and basically utilize her body. In this case, they're only speaking through her. But I don't want you all to feel, or anyone to feel, like this is a demonic practice or anything else. It was just like in the first video where we had shamans. Okay? All right, well, let's get on with it. Now, since we may be short on time, I've decided to provide to you a glimpse of the book that Yeshua channeled to a lady by the name of Miss Tina Louise Spaulding. She channels for Jesus quite regularly on YouTube, so you can look her up there. Now, in this book, on this particular page, he talks about what he looks like when he was on the earth plane. And he says that, unfortunately, if many of you truly saw what he looked like, that you would think he was a terrorist today. But you see it here. I strongly suggest you get the book. A lot of good information.
Hello everyone, Tina Spaulding Trance Channel here today for our Easter message from Jesus. I have been moving for the last couple of weeks. You can see a different background here. My partially finished stair rail, empty here, finished here. So it's been a bit chaotic, so I apologize for the brief break in communications. But it is Saturday on the Easter weekend. I intended to do this yesterday, but it just was too chaotic here. So the construction site is quiet, so I am able to bring forth Jesus' message for our Easter weekend. Thank you for joining me for this, and let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And of course, Easter is the big Christian holiday on your planet. And of course, the prayers and the supplications are coming fast and furious as those of you that are having a hard time on your planet at this time go to church and pray for assistance. We want you to know that you do have assistance. There are a multitude of non-physical teachers, non-physical beings, high-frequency extraterrestrials, many intelligences that love you, that love humanity, that love your planet and respect. What is Easter? Easter is the time of crucifixion and resurrection. We do not want this to slip past your minds, this idea of resurrection, after a seemingly awful experience. This is what is happening right now. This is the second coming. This is going to be the awful era, the era of restriction and separation and fear and death. This is the era of crucifixion, where everything seems to be lost. But remember what happened 3 days after the crucifixion, resurrection, the true meaning of the experience. That is what is happening on your planet right now. You are going through the crucifixion. You seem to be losing everything. Death seems to be the inevitable outcome of all of this. But you must remember that you are all eternal spiritual beings, and it is only in your forgetting of that truth that you become afraid. It is only in the believing of the lies that you become desperate. When you align with the true fact that you are an eternal spiritual being temporarily housed in a body so that you may have an experience of that which is out of alignment with love, then you begin to feel a reprieve from the anxiety. Then you begin to feel a reprieve from that which is being forced upon you. It seems to be being forced upon you, we will say, from the outside. But what you are actually witnessing is all the internalized guilt, fear, shame, and unforgiveness and belief in attack and judgment that you all as a collective hold. That is what you are witnessing. It seems to be others doing it to you. But what you are seeing as this attack is happening, as this control grid tightens its grip on your societies, what you are actually witnessing is your own belief in an outside power. What you are witnessing is your own belief in your feebleness. What you are witnessing is your own belief in the body and your own belief in death. That is what you are witnessing. And all you have to do as a collective to transform this is to wake up to the truth of what you are, the truth of who you are, the truth that you are divine, the truth that you are made of love, from love, for love. And so this weekend, we want you to think about this. We want you to think about, where are you unloving? Where are you unforgiving? Where do you obsess about the body? Where do you fear death? This is what we are asking you to do this weekend. To go inside your own consciousness, to go inside your own self and contemplate for a while. Where are you off track? Where are you off track? Because it is only possible for a society to be oppressed and controlled in the way that you are being oppressed and controlled. It is only possible for that to happen if you do not understand who you truly are. If you do not truly understand the power and the ability that you have to manifest in physical form your consciousness, because that is what your life is. If you look around your house and your living room and your family, friends, your employment, all of the aspects that you consider your life, they reflect you. They reflect your values. They reflect what you have invested in. They reflect what you believe. And this global event is no different. The powers that are usurping, seemingly so, your power, taking it away from you, cannot take it away from you unless it is freely given. And the global events that are transpiring and continuing to seemingly get worse and worse are by design and have been in the works for a long, long time. This plan has been in the works for a long, long time because the ascension process and the galactic speed up have been known about for a long, long time. So those that did not want you to awaken, those that did not want you to be free, those that did not want you to truly manifest your source energy, have been preparing to shut it down because they knew the galactic speed up was happening. They knew that their powers, their profits, their position would be threatened by the global awakening of humanity, which is, we will say, inevitable. Now, there are going to be casualties along the way, we are sorry to say, but those who choose to be casualties, those that dive deep into the chemical agenda of this particular regime, those that dive headfirst into that agenda are potentially going to be hurt by it. But you will see that they are hurt by their own decision. They are hurt by their own willingness to believe in death, to believe in a solution outside of themselves, their own holiness. And there will be sadness, and there will be gnashing of teeth, and there will be unhappy people. But what we want to remind you of is that this is the end of a spiritual season, and the decisions that are made by all of you, have been long in the making, many lifetime experiences in the making. Some of you are astonished at the decisions some of your friends and families are making. We want you to understand that you are astonished because it is a multiple lifetime experience that is causing them to make these decisions, that is causing them to jump off a cliff at the bottom of which are sharp rocks. Many of you are desperately trying to change minds. We will tell you, it is very, very difficult to change a human mind. We have been working on it for a very long time, and we have been working through this being for a very long time now to assist in the transformation of as many minds as possible in anticipation of this time. Our dear one began channeling 9 years ago, and we began to bring books through fast and furious so that you would have the information that you need to manage these times. And we would remind you here at this time that if you have not read our dear one's books, we would suggest that you do, because they are written for this time. And so we carry on our job here through this dear one, and she continues to be willing to do this work, for which we are tremendously grateful. But we want you to be hopeful in this time of seeming desperation. We want you to understand that the message of Easter is death followed by resurrection, and that is what you are going to see on this planet. You are going to see love winning. You are going to see the spirit of humanity winning. You are going to see the rising up of all of those who want to experience their God-given right to freedom, self-expression, and the ability to share and extend that which they are with others as often and as freely as they wish. So if you have been feeling sad, if you have been desperate, if you have been lonely, we want this Easter to be the Easter that you truly turn to spirit, that you truly turn inward, and that you turn to the materials that we have brought forth for this time. So we say once again, if you have not read the books that this being has channeled, we ask you to read those books now. It is time for you to truly grasp the magnitude not only of your own magnificence, but the magnitude of the propaganda and programming that has been playing out on your planet for some time. We love you. We want you to be healthy and happy and free to love and express yourselves and your natures as you see fit. And that is your natural right. It is not a right to be disseminated by governments. It is not a right to be reluctantly preferred upon you. It is your right, and we want you to leave this session with us knowing that you have the right to be you, to be free, and to express that uniqueness, that wonderful, wonderful manifestation of creation that you are. You are an idea in the mind of God, and nothing can shut that down. Nothing can stop that except your own belief in your own limitations and your own fear, empowered by believing others hateful and unloving stories. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again soon. Wow, beautiful. Oops, sorry, I've got a wobbly table. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Easter and do not despair. We are more powerful than they know. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, you coming? You heard the lady, didn't you? She said there's going to be blood in the streets. People are going to be dying. We need to get on this now. It's called a preemptive strike, okay? Get your stuff and let's go. We got to get busy. We take no prisoners in this, okay? Let's go. We're going to show them how it's done. We're going to handle this business. Let's go. Let's go. Actually, we're going to put a little PLM into this, guys, okay? What I just showed you, we're going to talk about in 4D in just a minute. But what we need to do right now is throw the PLM in, see? The prayer, the love, the meditation, okay? Some of you are just getting riled up right now. I could feel it behind, that video. We can't do that. See, we have to stay in control of this, okay? Stay in control of our thoughts. We have to be the master of our mind. Okay? That's what this is about. We see our way through this using wisdom. And that's what we're going to talk about next. I'll ask you again, are you with me? Let's do this. Let's talk about how the ascension is actually going to happen. Because for years I thought about how could it happen? If God really is a God of love, would he just and have all of those he wanted just disappear and cause utter chaos in the streets? Plane crashing, trains derailing, cars crashing, just all out chaos? Nah, I don't think so. So what did that leave us with? I am not 100% positive, but what makes the most sense to me is that what is his returns to him. Your spirit, the you that is you. So, if that happened, would you just drop dead? Because your body is nothing without someone in it to drive it. Again, another question. So I'm thinking that what makes the most sense is that a swapping of the soul happens. You see, we are multi-dimensional beings, which means we can be in a multitude of places at once. 5, 10, 100, 1,000, more. There are other variations of our consciousness. So what makes sense is that the conscious that you know, the conscious that you commune with, will exit at the same time a new one comes in. Now, case in point, I used to work for a hospital when I was young, seen a few head injuries, and a couple of those people died, and when they came back, everybody's happy, but all the family members said, he just ain't right. And as I started getting older, I started seeing more people that after they would have some type of a traumatic situation, traumatic injury, bad surgery, oh, he died on the table. When they came back, they just weren't quite right. It's my contention that the reason for that is because there was a soul swap. They died, said, hey, I want out of here, and another version of them came in and said, yeah, let's roll. All right. That makes the most sense to me. Think about it. Planes keep flying because the version has those skills. He's just a little different. He just ain't right. You understand? So, that's what I expect to happen. Now, when it happens, that's different. I expect this to happen early in the morning. I think they said that we experience, I don't remember what it was, something in between 2 and 3 or 2 and 4 in the morning. We go through something. I honestly don't remember what it is, but I don't think it's important, so I'm not even going to try to look through all my notes to find it. I will just say that I had an experience once, and it was quite traumatic. I felt spirit come into me and shuffle around. I guess had a conversation with my spirit and then left. But it felt like someone in your sock drawer just looking for a sock quietly because they didn't want to wake you up. So if you can imagine what that feels like, that's the thief in the night that I believe is coming, because he's coming to each one of us. And when they fool around in your sock drawer and they don't find what they're looking for, they're going to leave and leave you right where you are. So we want to make sure that we have what they're looking for when they come, so that we leave with them, okay? You have to understand, as far-fetched as this is, it's Star Trek on steroids. But the truth of the matter is that we are only in the 3rd dimension, and it could be infinite amount of dimensions. So from the 1st dimension, where the molecules of water is, where the dirt is, where life that doesn't move is, from their dimension to our 3rd dimension, look at the big difference in between us and a little grain of sand on the beach that sits there all day until the ocean comes and kisses it. So you can only, let me rephrase, you can't even imagine what life is in the 4th dimension, because that is way too far of a gap in between each dimension as it is. Go from a rock to a tortoise or a bear, that's, you can't even imagine that. So I expect the same thing to happen when we get to the 4th dimension, okay? So that's what I believe as far as how it's gonna happen, and what it's gonna feel like, and also the time. So, and that would be the early morning of the 11th. I don't expect it to happen while you're walking around in the day, because I just, that wasn't my personal experience. And like a thief in the night usually means that you are totally unaware, Deep sleep just seems like the right time, but it's not going to matter, because you're going to walk in faith. We're going to talk about this. You're going to be a walking prayer, okay? Okay, let's break and get back to this in a minute. It's 7 minutes. I just want to take a moment to send a little love over to the Fast Signs crew on Charleston Boulevard in Las Vegas for donating the piece of plexiglass that we're going to use as a prop in our next clip here. I said from the beginning how difficult this information was going to be for some of you to understand. And I know how painful it is, okay? But I want to do a little experiment here to show you where we are in this society as far as all the indoctrination that we have had since birth, okay? This is our brain. This is the information. That was the first video for most of you. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, you see nothing. The second video. Okay, how many videos, how much information is it going to take for this information to break through so that you actually get it? Okay, I know it's hard. Hang in there. Every little bit of information you get, that you think about, that you contemplate in your mind, sooner or later, it's all gonna click. And when it does, your true benevolence awaits. Ladies and gentlemen, my brethren, all of you out there watching these videos, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this far. Now, as of this morning, as of right now, basically, it's T-minus 84. For all of you non-military people, that means we have approximately 84 hours left before the date of April 11th, which the channelers gave, that we are hoping that the event actually comes true. Okay, I know that we've had a lot of disappointment in the past, waiting on things and hoping that things arrived, but you know, let's face it, we're not in charge. All we can do is keep hope alive. Okay, now I want you to also know that you all have the power within you to ascend. Okay, you all have the power within you. You are all benevolent, super creators beyond your imagination. Everything that you see out here and around you, you have created. You may not know it now, but you have. Okay, and if we had time, I'd get into it, but we don't. This is the last segment of this video. Okay, it is a capstone. I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in the holes to a few little things, and I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible because I want to get this out to you so that I can have the third video out to you by tomorrow. Okay, no sleep tonight. It's an all-nighter. Okay, so I want to quickly talk about the soul swap that I made mention of, how I believe this is going to work. Now, understand, when that soul swap happens, you guys aren't even going to know. Like I said, unless you're paying close attention to whoever it is that you've noticed a slight differences, a slight change, okay? And you'll probably know because, you know, either these people have been quiet most of their lives and you know they were already a little different. They believed in something that wasn't mainstream, okay? Or somebody like me that is a little more vocal, who speaks it, who looks at things a little differently, okay? But understand that it may also work that way as far as us who are going to 4D. I don't think so, but I just figured I'd put it out there just in case, okay? It may work so that the reality that we see, all right, just may keep going, and all of those people that leave to the new world, they will have a soul swap, and we will just slowly see these people changing, coming more towards our mindset of peace, harmony, and love, okay, and fairness to all. And we'll just watch our whole environment change, and the benevolent Saint Germain treasures be released, you know, and the GCR, the global currency reset, and you know, we can just see our whole world blossom into the benevolent environment, the benevolent vision that we all have, you know. So let's close that up on the soul swaps. Consent, okay? Whether you believe it or not. Let's say you're walking by and you lay witness to a, let's say someone steals a purse from the lady on the street, and you see the guy and you know the guy, okay? And you're so close, so you just turn around and walk the other way, and I'm not saying anything, okay? Well, you know, later the police contact you and they say, hey, you know, we were watching the video and we saw you walk by, you know. Do you happen to know who this person is? You know, the lady was hurt, you know, and she lost out on her money and la la la. And you say, oh, hey, you know, I don't even remember seeing a thing, okay? Believe it or not, you just gave consent to that incident. Okay? You did. The same thing happens in this world, you know. Let's say said government goes over to a country and bombs that country. And the story that you got, let's say they were big, giant firecrackers over there that might explode and hurt someone or a whole block or a whole country, okay? And you heard this information. You said, well, heck, that's good. We should be the only one with big firecrackers. So let's do this, okay? And so you go over there and, you give your blessings to this event. And you find out later that, well, we went over there and we took care of it. And, to punish them real good, our government decided to take all their gold. And, that way they won't have money to do this again. And, by the way, 500,000 children died in the process. So, people, listen, you gave your consent. You understand? You gave your consent. I'm going to give a third example, and one that I guess I personally lived through, okay? You get a notification one day that the school is going to take God out of their curriculum. And you sit back after hearing that, knowing that there are some parents going down to the school, and most schools have what? 4,000 or so children, and you decide not to go. So the 4 parents that actually show up in opposition to this, well, they get no traction. Why? Where are the masses? All right? Where's everyone? They're not here. So the school board, which has 8 to 10 people on it, okay? Why are they going to listen to 4 people? You gave your consent, okay? It is not necessary to get physically engaged in things in a physical altercation, showing hate. But it is necessary to give your energy in opposition to it, okay? If everyone gets together and they just say, hey, look, we ain't having this, okay? We're not supporting this. We're not going along with it. It don't happen, okay? You keep your power where it belongs within you. Now, speaking of power, let's talk about the human residence, okay? The human residence that I mentioned about Mother Gaia. The human residence that measures the electromagnetic energy going around the Earth, okay, has been increasing. It's speeding up, okay? And I know all this, as I said, I'm going to try to stay away from all the scientific stuff and stuff. So an easy way to explain this is like this. You see someone, you're male or female, and you see someone of the opposite sex that you really like, and you have an opportunity, they're waving and, come, let's spend some time together, your heart speeds up. You start getting excited. Okay, another example will be, children going to Disneyland, their hearts racing. They're just, yeah, let's do this. Let's go. This is going to be great. You follow what I'm saying? That energy, almost like you're at the gym and you're working out, you're running on the treadmill, you're doing the stairs and your heartbeat is racing. Okay, best of yet, when something happens. And let's say something's going to go on. Let's say something that you all have experienced, maybe not a car accident, but roller coaster. Okay, roller coaster. You're coming up this incline, and you're getting towards the top, and you know what's up there. Your heart is now speeding up. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. You get to the apex. You get to the top. Okay, and just before you come down, your whole body is just off the scale. Okay, you're enjoying this. This is just energy at its finest. All of those are your body's reaction, your body's build up to a major event. Okay, all that energy is going to be released in that event. That's what Mother Gaia is going through. Okay, she's getting ready for a major event. And she has been welcome enough, loving enough to allow us to inhabit her, okay? But, you know, she has no say. We're the fleas on the back of a dog here, guys, okay? And that dog's getting ready to get a complete shave, okay? All the hair's coming off, all right? And those of us who are not embedded are the ones that are going to be shed, okay, throughout this. So, you know, keep that in mind. I hope that helps you to see it and cognitize it here, okay? I'd mentioned the soul graduation, and that's because that term works best for my understanding. But some of you others out there might have heard it as a soul harvest, or just the harvest of the earth or so, you know. So keep that in mind as well. Now, by now, from the examples that I gave in the first video and in this video, you should have enough truth in your mind, in your heart. You should have enough truth to know that the historical events that have been portrayed to you in your schools, in your education system here in the United States. I don't know about the other countries, but some of those countries, they teach you real well. But here in the United States, you should know that your religious and historical truth has been skewed quite a bit, okay? Now, that was the prime reason for me putting all that information out there, because there's a lot of you who are, you know, skeptical. Like I said, it's very hard to take, all right? But I just wanted there to be enough, so that it's just that little crack in your mind is enough, okay? Anyway, let's move on. There is a consistent theme going on around the globe that is not being broadcasted here in the United States, okay? It's a blackout going on for most of this esoteric stuff, this metaphysical stuff here in the United States. They will allow the things that are non-threatening, but, you know, this whole event seems to be pretty threatening, so you don't hear much about it, you know. The world is, I repeat, the world is transforming into a higher vibratory frequency, okay? Don't take my word on any of this. Look it up. However, we don't have time, so do what I suggest in the next video, and if you find a little time, then you can research, okay? Speaking of the next video is going to be on how to raise your vibration. I've decided on the third video because there's a bit, and I want it to be just to slide into home base so that no one has any doubts, none, about what they need to do, okay? I'm not making any money off of this. I'm losing money. My customers, I'm going to have to send the videos to my customers with an apology, okay? Because I'm literally, you know, I started this, I think, on the 10th, and this is where I am now. So forgive me, I'm talking a little faster, and naturally it's a little freer because I don't have to, I don't have to think, okay? I don't have to think about being nice with my words, you know, being kind, being politically correct, and not hurting Johnny's feelings, and Sal, you know, forget all that, people. There is no time. There is no time. All of you smart people out there, you educators and you people with degrees and lawyers, I can't tell you the multitude of messages that I've gotten. Okay, all right. Most of you who actually know me know that I have a pretty good educational background too, okay? I have a very high security clearance background in the aerospace industry, all right? There's so much I want to tell you people, but I can't, only because there is no time. I don't fear anything, okay? But there is no time. If I walk out tomorrow and I slip on a rock and I die, all of you, party for me, okay? I've had a great time meeting people, everything else. I'm responsible for myself. You understand? I'm a sovereign individual, a human being, just like all of you. I hope you're getting this, all right? Now, I want you all to subscribe to this video. And I want you all to subscribe so that you will get the video, the last video, when I release it, okay? It's important. All this other stuff is great, but the last one, what you need to do to get on this boat, okay, to take this trip with me, should this trip come. If it doesn't come, the world will be a much better place with all of our energies, okay? Our energies, whether you know it or not, and you know this. Someone walks into the room and you feel a presence. Look at that guy. I just don't know what it is about him. I just, it's just something, I can feel it, okay? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is only what? 10 feet? Now, Yeshua, the one who has been mistakenly known as Jesus, it is said that his extended for 50 miles, okay? 50 miles. That's wonderful. Is yours extending beyond a foot now? Don't know, but you know. You can see this and you can feel this in other individuals. I digress. We'll get into that later. Right now, video 3 is coming. I ask you all again, share this video with your friends and families and everyone else. They can't call you a quack. They can call me a quack, okay? You're off the hook. What better way to share this stuff? All of my etheric brothers and sisters, my crystals and my wanderers, same thing. I know it's been hard for you because it's been hard for me. I am literally the black sheep of my family, and I love them all. I've heard good things and horrible things. I love them all. They don't understand. It doesn't stop me, okay? It did for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I'm human, but it didn't. So, all together now. Are we in this? If not, bless you all. Go on your way. You don't need to proceed with anything. If you are in it, let's get with it. Let's get busy. People, this is the end of a spiritual season. It is, and you are engaged in, and welcome to, the spiritual war, the spiritual battle that you all came here to win. So let's win it. Namaste.